Hi guys, it's the Walking Zero Dead here, king of the anime and manga unboxers and a lover of all things geeky here on YouTube. So back in 1998, I grew up on
Resident Evil 2.
This game was one of the most anticipated games of my childhood, and honestly it didn't disappoint. Resident Evil 2 is one of the best sequels of all time. It was bigger and better than the original Resident Evil in every single way, and honestly I have so many childhood nostalgic memories of this game. Oh, it's one of the best games and one of my favourite games of all time, and I hope you guys enjoy this video.
Ooh, sorry about that, babe.
George A. Romero, the godfather of the modern zombie genre and director of Night of the Living Dead as well as Dawn of the Dead, went on to direct 2 live-action commercials in Japan for Resident Evil 2, which ended up landing him the job of the director of the first Resident Evil movie, but Capcom would later on fire him, saying that his script wasn't very good.
Biohazard 2.
In early 1997, the director of Resident Evil 2, Shinji Mikami, began to feel that despite all of the excellent progress being made, his sequel simply wasn't good enough and didn't live up to Resident Evil. At the 80% mark, he scrapped the entire project, cancelling the game and getting his production team to start all over again. This game would then be dubbed by the fans Resident Evil 1.5, which had a female lead character called Elza Walker, as well as Leon S. Kennedy. Fans would hunt this game down for over 20 years because it had so much mystery in the Resident Evil community. Resident Evil 2 starts off where you're running through the streets of Raccoon City with hordes of zombies after you, where you get chased into the Kendo gun shop, and then you wind up in the Raccoon City Police Department. The gameplay for Resident Evil 2 remains basically the same as before in Resident Evil 1. You choose as one of 2 playable characters, the rookie cop, the fan favourite Leon Kennedy, and the little sister to Chris Redfield, Claire Redfield. You go around collecting key items and solving puzzles to move on to the next location. You have classic pre-rendered backgrounds, fixed camera angles, and like tank controls, because suspense and fear doesn't come from being able to see what's coming in front of you. It has to be like from these really crazy angles and zombies bursting through wooden boards and jumping through windows and crazy stuff like that. Leon and Claire encounter a string of different characters throughout the game, so their stories unfold differently, with Leon meeting the mysterious Ada Wong and Claire meeting Sherry Birkin, a scared little girl searching for her parents.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I thought you were another one of those zombies.
Once you complete the game with one character, you unlock Scenario B. For instance, if you complete the game with Claire, you unlock Leon's Scenario B story. You get to see how one scenario looked from another character's point of view while running around Raccoon City getting chased by the Mr. X Scenario B boss, which was like a really cool feature. The things you do in Scenario A will also affect the other character in Scenario B, like if you choose between the submachine gun or the item pouch. This can make like a real big difference. You can leave one behind, or you can pick up both items and kind of screw yourself later on down the line. Resident Evil 2 had some really incredible replay value for a PlayStation 1 game, as you also unlock the 4th survivor mode with Hunk and Tofu. One of the best improvements in Resident Evil 2 is that you can tell your character's injuries simply by looking at their body language, instead of having to go into the item menu and checking their status in the classic green, orange and red, and to see how hurt your character is. If your character is on caution, they will hold their side in pain, but they're still properly functioning. And also in danger status, your character is sort of unable to move and they sort of limp and they're really slow in pain. Throughout the game you will encounter many different boss enemies, and in the comment section down below I want to know what was your favourite boss, because there were some cool bosses in Resident Evil 2. You get the G-Virus spawn, the giant crocodile inside the sewers, you get the giant moth in the laboratory. In Scenario B you get Mr. X, the tyrant, slowly stalking you down, which was a really cool feature. And then you've got the big man himself, William Birkin, the G-Virus monster in all of his different forms. For me, it has to be Birkin. I mean, he was popping up every now and again, slowing you down. There was also another load of really cool enemies introduced to the game, like the Licker and the Triffids in the laboratory.
You lose, big guy.
So I'm going to talk about my favourite moments in Resident Evil 2. For me, it's a really weird one. It's actually a cutscene, and that's where William Birkin gets assassinated by hunks like Death Squad Team, stealing the G-Virus, and then you get this really amazing cutscene.
Alpha Team, have you retrieved the sample yet?
Affirmative. We'll be at the rendezvous point in 1 minute.
Roger.
Are you telling me that he injected the G-Virus into his own body?
The G-Virus has the ability to revitalize cellular functions.
What was that? Something's wrong. Let's check it out. Over there! Shoot! Eat this, you freak! I'm stopping it! What is this thing? Hurry! What is this thing? Fire! Fire! You son of a...
A really cool little Easter egg that happens in Resident Evil 2, which I'm sure a lot of you know about, but I thought was like a really cool little thing, is that if you don't pick up any items from the start of the game to the point that you get to the police station, if you go under the stairs, you meet a zombified Brad Vickers, the helicopter pilot from Resident Evil 1, you kill him, and then you pick up a special key for like extra clothes. And I thought that was a super cool little Easter egg that I wanted to share with you guys. So guys, I'm going to talk about my childhood memories from Resident Evil 2 and how I got the game, because I've got kind of like a weird little story for it. Basically, I was really good at athletics, and back in like the summer holidays of school, we get like 6 weeks off, and I was put in this like athletics camp kind of thing. I would have to go every Saturday, and I really didn't want to do it. And basically my mum's bargaining tool to make me do this was, I will buy you Resident Evil 2 when you finish this course. Now in England, in PAL regions, Resident Evil 2 actually came out in April. So I would get up every Saturday at like 6 in the morning. I would absolutely hate doing this athletics course, and the only thing that would get me through it was, you know, knowing that at the end of this I would get Resident Evil 2, because it came out like roughly around the same time this thing ended. So and I remember just on the very last Saturday just being home and seeing bang Resident Evil 2 on the table, and I was so unbelievably hyped. And this is a game that I've played this Resident Evil game more than any other Resident Evil game, and I've completed it more than any other Resident Evil game. And in my opinion, it was bigger and better in every single way than the original Resident Evil. You know, more action, the music was absolutely incredible, cool enemies, cool boss fights. And for me as an 11-year-old kid, before the days of Let's Plays, I didn't have the internet at the time, so there was no like FAQ walkthroughs. I had a pretty decent and solid speedrun time, which for me was like 1 hour 30, which I go back and look at all these people that do it nowadays that have played this game for like the last 20 years, and I was doing a pretty solid time at an 11-year-old kid. So in the comment section down below, I want to know, what is your personal best speedrun time of Resident Evil 2? Thanks for watching the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Now in the comment section down below, I want to know from you guys, I want to hear all of your like Resident Evil childhood stories, how you got into Resident Evil. Also, I want to know, what is your favourite weapon from Resident Evil 2? I've always been a big fan of the custom Desert Eagle, as well as the custom shotgun, where you just explode zombies in half. That was a lot of fun to do. Also, I want to know, what is your favourite moment from Resident Evil 2? If you enjoyed this video, please give it the old thumbs up, share it around, subscribe, click that notification bell. You'll get more awesome geeky video game videos popping up in your feed. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.